Hey, welcome to the Fraction Buster tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll learn how to clear out fractions so the equation becomes much simpler. And it works with decimals as well as fractions. Because really, decimals, they're just fractions in a different form. So our goal here, we got to cancel out a 3, cancel out a 4, and cancel out a 6. So we need a number that 3 can divide into. Because basically, let's say we had a 3 up here, right? Then the 3's could cancel. But the problem is with 3, 4 can't go in. It's like 3 won't help out 4, and 3 won't help out 6. Because if you had a 3 up here, 3 can go into it, but you still have a 2 left over. So what we need to bust the fractions is an LCD that 3 can divide into, and 4 can divide into, and 6 can also divide into. So for our LCD, what's a number that 3 can divide into, 4 can divide into, and 6 can also divide into? If you stop and search for it, pause the video, it's 12. 12 is the smallest number, the lowest possible common denominator that 3 can divide into 12. 4 can also divide into 12, and 6 can also divide into 12. So 12 is our magic fraction busting number, so to speak. And what we're going to do is multiply both sides of the equation by 12. In doing this, our next step, you'll see the fractions will end up clearing out. That's a good thing. So now, if it helps you, please write 12 as 12 over 1, because when you multiply, you're only multiplying the top of stuff, not the denominator. So now when we distribute 12 to this guy, we have 12 is getting multiplied to the 2x over 3. And when you distribute to the second term, 12 is also being multiplied to the 1/4, so 12 times 1/4. And on the right-hand side of the equation, we have 5 over 6 is also getting multiplied by 12. And again, if it helps you, make sure you put this as 12 over 1 to remind yourself you're only multiplying the top of the equation, not the bottom. So from here, you have two choices. Either multiply across first, 12 times 2x, then divide by 3, or I think an easier way to do this would be to divide first, then multiply. And here's the reason for that. Check out this guy. If you had to do 5 times 12 and then divide by 6, that's doing more work than if you do 12 divided by 6 is 2, and then multiply the leftover pieces. So once reducing 12 by 6, multiply 5 times 2 left over to give you 10. To me, it's an easier direction. But if you prefer to do 5 times 12 first, and then divide by 6, it's going to get you the same answer. So either way is fine. So in this case, I'm going to do 12 divided by 3 is 4. Then multiply the pieces left over. 4 times 2x is 8x. For the second term, we have 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then 3 times 1 is 3. Done. In a one step of fraction busters, the equation is much simpler. At this point, it's just regular equation solving. Add 3 to both sides to cancel out the 3. Those guys are gone. 8x equals 10 plus 3 is 13. Then divide by 8 to cancel out the 8. And that's your final answer. X equals 13/8. And done. That's it. Now let's apply the same technique to the next problem, which has decimals, but really decimals are fractions. They're just fractions in a different format. So let me back up and clear out my old work. All right. So the main thing you need to understand for this kind of problem is that you need to multiply this by either 10, 100, 1,000, some kind of power of 10 to clear out the decimals. Let's say 0.05. To move a decimal over twice, you have to multiply by 100. Remember, multiplying by 100, since there's two zeros in 100, that would effectively move the decimal over twice and give you 5. Or let's say you had 0.163. If you wanted to get rid of 3 decimal places and want to move the decimal 3 times, you have to multiply by 1,000. That would be 163 as a result. So in our problem, We have 2 decimal places everywhere, so we can get away with just multiplying everything by 100, and that should move the decimals back to non-fractions or non-decimals. So let's multiply the left-hand side by 100, multiply the right-hand side of the equation by 100, and now when you distribute 100 times 0.04 will move the decimal twice, and change it to regular 4. Distributing 100 to this guy, minus 0.03, the decimal moves twice, and it turns into just 3 times x. There's a little x there. On the right-hand side, 0.19 times 100 moves the decimal twice to get 19. Done. So once the decimals are cleared, or the fractions, you have a much easier equation. And from there, it's just regular equation solving. To clear out the 4, subtract 4 to cancel it out. These guys cancel. Left over is negative 3x. 19 minus 4 is 15. Then to cancel the negative 3, we'll do the inverse operation. It's like opposites, and divide by 3. 15 divided by 3 is the final answer of negative 5. And we're done. So Fraction Busters is handy. It takes any equation with fractions and in one step converts it to a nicer, much simpler equation. So at this point, you really need to practice this technique. You've watched me do 2 problems, but now it's your turn. So go to YouTube, and Fraction Busters, already found out, is not a popular terminology, but you can type in solving equations with fractions and you'll get a handful of videos. I think after browsing through a few of these, the second video is probably one of the better ones of the first several. So it's the teacher, he's going to explain problems, but for you, what you should be doing is pause the video right before he does the problem. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here, and you can see he writes the problem out. At this point, once the problem's completely written out, press pause. Don't let him do the problem. Please do this problem on your own. Then, once you have your own best answer, play the video and see how close you are to the answer. Basically, you need to do this until you can get, like, say, 3 problems correct in a row and be 100% correct. So, pause the video like I just did, work the problem out on your own, then play the video, and that's a better way to practice, I think, than even using books, to be honest. So go to YouTube, type in solving equations with fractions, practice a handful of problems, and you'll come away a fraction solving expert. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.